The Matena International School of Leadership and Professional Development will soon be established in Armenia, in collaboration with the renowned Skolkovo Moscow School of Management in Russia. To find out more about this exciting new project, I have with me Ruben Hayrapetyan, co-founder and director of Matena, as well as Mr. Yuri Levin, Dean of the Skolkovo Moscow School of Management. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Glad to be here.
To start off, Matena's first program will be launched in early 2022, and its education provided is supposed to be modernistic and international in nature. So, Mr. Hayrapetyan, can you describe what sort of education will be provided and how young Armenians will benefit from this?
Thank you for the invitation. Matena International School of Leadership and Professional Development is in fact a unique partnership program here in Armenia, and our mission is to somehow contribute to the development of professional skills and leadership qualities through collecting and sharing the best leading world expertise and combining it with the best local expertise. And this is really very important for us, for Armenia, because so far within the recent 20 or 30 years, we have really very deep problems in the field of professional education here in Armenia. And the complex problems has resulted in the severe consequences that we are facing right now. And what Matena is trying to do is, in fact, it's quite plain, it's explicitly simple. We create a platform in which we want to collect and combine all the leading expertise that we have both globally and locally, and try to gradually share and spread it out, this expertise, to the society, to the Armenian society, so that we can somehow make sure that we create tangible results for our country. In fact, why I'm saying that this is a unique project and unique partnership project, because the creation and design of Matena is first of all directed to the change, to the shift of the culture of professional education here in Armenia. We want to make sure that the professional knowledge, skills and abilities that the students are getting, they are completely internationally required, and not only in Armenia but also throughout the whole world. And also we want to somehow change the mindset of people here in Armenian society living in. And those people who are mostly prone to the formal types of the education, which sometimes is not working efficiently here in Armenia. And that's why we created this project together with the partnership with my main partner, Ruben Hayrapetyan. You know that we decided that this is the right momentum to enter the field of professional education, because the long-term problems and the long-term negative consequences that Armenia is currently faces is buried into the deep presence of the problems that were made long time before, when Armenia got its independence, and tried to create the systems, the institutions, including the higher education system, the professional education system, but somehow we failed this, and throughout these 30 years, Armenia has developed in a way that was not supported by the mass production of highly effective and quality educated people. And Matena is going to change this situation, and Matena is going to shift and make a new paradigm in the professional development.
And Mr. Levin, the Skolkovo School in Moscow is pretty renowned. I mean, can you unpack the partnership between Matena and Skolkovo? What will Skolkovo bring to the table?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I just want to thank Ruben for inviting us to be part of this initiative. It's really exciting. In some sense, we've been going through the same building exercise for the past 15 years. The school, the Skolkovo School of Management, just celebrated its 15th year anniversary in September. And I think that we've accomplished a lot in what Ruben just said, in helping the country and helping the region to prepare a new generation of leaders that can move the country, the entire region to the future. We're living in a kind of interesting world. We're living in a very interesting and dynamic time where the traditional educational model, where people, do 4 years of university in their 20s, when they're 18, then work for a number of years, say 10 years, then going back to the school, doing a 1 or 2 year MBA and working for the rest of their life, this model is no longer relevant. Why? Because first of all, as we know, there are so many new skills, there are so many new ideas, there is so much new knowledge that pops up every day, every week, that in order to stay competitive in the workforce, in order to keep your company, your country competitive in this highly dynamic environment, you always have to be up to date. So you need to constantly acquire new knowledge and, what is important, have an opportunity to apply this knowledge in your workplace. So in this case, what we've been doing at Skolkovo, and in this sense we share the philosophy with Matena, is that you have to be flexible in terms of first of all, the format of education and the type of skills you give to people. So what we are trying to do, we're trying to change the entire way we prepare leaders, the entire way we run professional education. So what are the two principles that are the fundamental pillars in what we are doing? Number one is what we're hearing every day is the notion of lifelong learning, right? So people need to constantly go back to school in order to acquire new knowledge. Now, in order to implement this principle, you have to make sure that, first of all, that you're constantly developing new programs, new ideas, that the school stays up to date. And it's much easier and it's much more efficient to do it with partners. So you go to school, you acquire some knowledge, you work for a number of years, you realize that you've got some skill gaps, you go back to school, you work for a number of years, you bring your company to school, right? So there is a constant interaction between you and the school, and this is really the model that we are trying to implement. It's not easy, but this is the future of education, professional education, first of all. So lifelong learning. Another trend that we currently see across the board in all aspects of our life is the notion of personalization. So what we want to do, we want to be able to offer you an advice, what kind of skills, what kind of programs would be beneficial for you in order to achieve your personal goals, in order to achieve your professional goals. So in this sense, we invest in a lot in technology, and we're happy to share this technology with our Armenian friends. So we would like to put in place a recommendation engine. We constantly see a situation like this. People come to us, saying that we would like to take a program in finance. After 5 minutes, we realize that what they actually need is a program in venture, right? So if they get enrolled in a finance program, clearly they're not going to be satisfied. So clearly our mission to give them the skill they need is not going to be accomplished. So again, lifelong learning, personalization, and technology. So these are three things that we've developed in the last 15 years that we're more than happy to share with our Armenian friends. And again, we share the same principles, we share the same philosophy. So education is something that you can't do on your own. So you have to do it with partners, because at the end of the day, we want to change the countries, we want to change the region, to make the region a better place.
That's an interesting question for clarification, because some people think that it's a Latin name. It sounds like something like Italian Matena, because in Italian there's Mattina, la mattina, which means morning, but in fact Matena has an Armenian roots. And the word Matena is symbolically derived from one of the Armenian national assets, the unique museum and institute Matena Daran, which is in turn is a compound composed of Matian, Maten, which is a book, and Daran, which is a repository. And this name symbolizes and embodies the historical aspiration of Armenian people towards education, towards the book, Matena. And I would like to say that this effective combination of international pronunciation, easy pronunciation, and Armenian historical roots is a kind of embedded in our philosophy, Matena's philosophy. Why? Because we try to combine all the global best experience with the local best experience. And this is done through the cooperation first programs with the Skolkovo. And I would like to say that, in fact, our partnership programs and the signing of memorandum is logically derived from our mission and our slogan, which is sharing excellence, because we want to collect this excellence and share. And because we consider that Skolkovo has been developing excellence in professional education for the recent 20 years or so, we think that they have very rich experience in this field, and the partnership with Skolkovo will yield some effective outcomes, both for our countries and for the region as a whole. And we are sharing excellence through partnership. We are sharing excellence through our advisory board, which comprises some reputable members, like the longtime head of Belgium-Luxembourg office of McKinsey, Pierre Gurjan, the co-founder and president of CRIS, Bartavaz Minasyan, the founder and CEO of Pixart, Hovannes Savoyan, the longtime head of Ernst & Young in CIS countries, Carl Johansson. So a lot of reputable people here in our advisory board, partners, the educators, the experts, the participants of our programs, which are going to be, again, at an excellent level for us, for trying to make the community working efficiently and helping each other for their future business projects, for their partnership projects. And so why I'm saying this, why I'm telling the whole story, because even the name Matena comes from this philosophy, which is included, embedded in our DNA.
I mean, Mr. Hayrapetyan, there's been a lot of issues with the Armenian educational sector. So how will this new form of education aim to mitigate those issues? What will it bring to the table in that regard?
Yeah, in fact, we have faced very serious and deep problems in Armenian education, not only in higher education, but in the whole system. But at the same time, I would say that the complex issues that are going to be solved is they are sometimes missing the solutions. Why? Because people, for certain reasons, they are avoiding to implement even the easiest steps, the simple steps. What I was talking about. It's quite plain. It's simple. We are creating the platform. We are collecting the best expertise, the best leading professionals throughout the whole world, and just sharing the excellence. So the combination of plain and simple activities is bringing the solution and key to the complex issues. This is how we are going to tackle these challenges.
Mr. Levin, how do you see the potential of the educational sector in Armenia? Do you think it even has the potential one day to encourage international students, high-quality international students even, to come to Armenia to study?
Absolutely. So in general, and this is common for the former USSR countries, is that people often think that the investments, money, would change the environment, the business environment in those countries, and this is partially true. But I think that the main thing that is missing is people, the new generation of leaders who would first of all define the activities of a certain scale that the investors would become interested in our region, in our countries. And I think that this is what's missing in Armenia. So I think that what this school can do to the country is to prepare a whole new generation of leaders, people who would be able to drive all the new activities. Many of these activities, I'm pretty sure, are going to be in the new economy. Many of these activities would be in the new digital world, connected to analytics, artificial intelligence, technology. Again, they need to bring a certain vibe, a certain energy, a certain leadership, and the money would follow, right? The investors would follow. So again, I might sound, too optimistic, but I think that there is no other way to change the situation to the better. And I think that this is what's missing in the educational sector that we can change. Again, we train many people with good fundamental skills, math, engineering, physics, computer science, IT. What's missing, and it's not just for, in Armenia, in the entire region, we're missing managers, we're missing leaders. We often assume that a good physician, a good doctor would be a good CEO of a hospital. And some of them are indeed good CEOs. But in many cases, what good doctors, are missing, they're missing some fundamental management skills. We all understand and we all believe that we need to give people, good education in math and physics. But many of us, do not realize that management is a subject that needs to be taught at a high level. And if we want to be competitive at the international stage, that at the very least we need to teach management at the international level. And this is what, Matena, this is what our partnership is going to do.
And I mean, the allocation of resources to the educational sector, a lot of people think that resources should be allocated to other sectors. It's almost like they do not see the potential of it. But a school of management or a school of leadership in the long run will bring economic also benefits to the country. So I'm wondering what you think will be the long-term goals of such projects. What will they bring to the country in the long term?
Again, this is what I mentioned. If you play the educational game, it's not a short-term game, right? You have to be ready to play it for a long term. But what's slightly different, in the professional education, in executive education in particular, that the benefits, can be seen pretty shortly. In the whole system that we've implemented at Skolkovo is designed to bring quick wins relatively quickly. So people see the results of those investments. So most of our programs are based on the project component. So the academic modules are supposed to help people to develop certain ideas into the implementable projects. And yes, the basic ideas of education to change the mentality, to change the mindset, to acquire new knowledge, clearly it's all part of the game, it's all part of the model. But in addition to this, we deliver something tangible that people can touch, that people can measure at the end of their program. And I think that this is very important, first of all, because again, the participants see something tangible that they can implement, that they can, measure. And the investors, right? Many other stakeholders also quickly see the benefits of investing in such a project. Just for your information, so Skolkovo is, Skolkovo lives based on its operational model. So in a sense, we're sustainable. Everything we make, we reinvest, but we are completely sustainable, so we are not dependent on external funding. Clearly, it took some time. It took a number of years to get to this point, but we are now 100% sustainable. And again, I'm pretty sure that Matena is going to follow this path. But in the beginning, yes, it needs help, and I would just kind of, ask, all the investors, all the, companies that are interested in doing business in Armenia to join the community. And I really like the word community that Ruben used a few times, because what this is, it's not really, a school in a traditional sense. It's a community, right? It's a community of, students, companies, investors, a community united about, around the same goal, right? And this is what this is, and it's exciting, and this is, I'm pretty sure, will give some extra energy to the team that took on this very ambitious initiative.
Okay, and finally, Mr. Hayrapetyan, can you tell us anything about a timetable, a roadmap? How can people follow what's going on?
The first programs that are designed in partnership with Skolkovo are going to be launched in the first quarter of 2022. And these two programs are mainly going to be directed to the business leaders, which is called the Leading Change in Companies and Corporation Development Program for business managers, and the other is directed to the development of the skills of local authorities, municipal managers. And together with this, we are going to launch a series of masterclasses for wider layers of population, including students, the youth, that they can follow the newsletter and get informed about all the opportunities that Matena is going to offer in the upcoming future.
Okay, well, gentlemen.
And Ruben just forgot about the third one. It's a program in women leadership,
which is going to be, I guess, a month later from the start of the first initial programs. Yes, including the third program, which is about women leadership, which is quite interesting project for us because we consider that Armenia has a great potential within professional women living here and working here that has to be developed.
Well, we'll be following that avidly. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.